No, that shit hurt a lot, actually.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, this it's a girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to talk about Love Island USA Season 5, Episode 26, and let's get right into the video. Like, kind of funny, like, it took like maybe a night, maybe 24 hours before people start folding like lawn chairs. You know, like, what happened to standing your ground? What happened to stand on your word? Like, what's going on? What happened? Like, what's going on over here? Like, we're folding already? Like, nobody put in any type of work? Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Anyway, after the Casa Amor recoupling, like, obviously tensions were high, you know. Obviously, Cassie was just, you know, upset with Leo. Yeah, Keenan and KK situation. So we obviously see Keenan and KK are chatting and they're talking, and she's basically explaining the boundaries that Keenan crossed, you know, him with Naja and all of that. And, you know, the conversation wasn't going nowhere in the beginning. So she gets up, leaves, and I guess she's talking to Marco and Hannah. So they're talking. I guess Keenan comes back and basically like, oh, I'm going to finish my conversation. So he pulls KK back. So they were like, you know, they were still talking to KK about something. So I guess Hannah was like suggesting to Marco, should I, you know, pull her back? Should I bring her back to the, like, you know, pull her back from the conversation? So they go back out and basically, you know, Marco's like, oh, KK, let's go have a chat. Let's have a chat. So Keen's like, nah, no, like, back up, like, this business, like, back up. And he's like, keep on telling KK, like, come on, like, talk to us, like, stop talking to Keenan. But, you know, obviously they were like, oh, KK has a decision. And obviously KK's decision was, you know, she'll come talk to Hannah and Marco in a minute. So she talks to Keenan and basically, you know, try to finish the conversation. You know, he tries to justify his reasonings on getting to know Naja, basically, so he can get some clarity, whatever. So we hear Hannah and Marco basically was like, you know what, I'm tired of defending KK because, you know, at the end of the day, she's going to go back to him. Because, to be honest, she had all this energy, you know, she's going to be this lone soldier, you know, stand on her word, whatever. All the girls backing her, yeah, leave him, know your worth, And next thing you know, they trying to help you from this conversation with him, and you're like, I need a minute. Like, please be for real. So Hannah's kind of done with the situation, and I don't blame her. You know, Marco, he trying to intervene. I mean, Marco, he trying to get that, what's that called? That villain arc, you know. He changing, you know, from episode 1 to now. Is this Marco? Because he's looking very different, looking mighty different right now. You know, he's really changed, and I guess it's for the better. So after that, we basically see all the couples. There's 20 people in that villa. You know, Cassie and Mattia. The situation is that, you know, Mattia's basically saying like, oh, he feels like Cassie just broke up with her boyfriend and she's like still feeling it. But I'm like, well, what did you expect from her? I mean, to be honest, or expect at all. You know, the girl just found out what Leo just did, and you expecting her to like jump in your arms. Like, you can't be serious, Mattia. You can't be serious at all. If she didn't like the guy, and you know that was confirmation bias for her, then sure, but she actually really did like Leo. And to be honest, the only difference between Leo and Cassie Casa's Amor's experience is that Leo went the extra, I can't even say mile, because he really just went out of the whole situation and did what he did with Johnny, because Cassie was moving kind of messy with Mattia. So, I mean, the only thing is that she never, like, went that far. Leo now, he went that far and did what he did. So, only if Cassie was acting like she was sleeping outside on day beds, like, Carmen and Hannah and KK were, and, and then Leo did, and she found out Leo did that to her, then I can understand a lot. But definitely doing that was definitely disrespectful, like, to anybody, that's mad disrespectful. But I'm just saying, like, she's not so, I guess, innocent the whole situation with the Mattia thing. But yeah, basically in this episode, I guess everybody's like side-eyeing Leo because just like how you move, like how are you moving like that? Like Carmen's basically saying like you're doing that in the villa with 14 to 16 other people in the same room. Like everybody's keep on mentioning that because just like, wow, like this is how you moving, this is how you moving. Like, yeah, basically, like I said, Johnny's catching the strays. Like everybody's giving the side eye to Leo, but Johnny's also catching that stray. Okay, she's also, feeling that, you know. Leo feel like he has nobody. I mean, like I said, the guys were definitely flabbergasted. They were very, kind of upset that Leo did that in Casa, and Marco for sure, Kenzo for sure. So I said, I guess the biggest, side eye energy that Leo's feeling it from is definitely from Hannah, Carmen, Imani. So he's feeling like a little outcast in the villa, feeling like he should be left in a corner and whatnot. So in this episode, I guess, KK comforted him and basically said, like, what you did was messed up, but if you need somebody in the villa, I'm here to talk to you and whatnot and whatnot. So, that was nice. Because considering that you're still living together with these people. So the whole situation is, it's a packed villa. The villa's packed, 20 people sleeping outside. Jonah's with his Taylor C girl. Kenzo and Carmen sleeping outside as well. Keenan had to sleep outside too. It's packed. It's packed in here. So we see this whole Bergie and Taylor S conversation to kissing scene, and I'm like, we did not need to see that. They could have cut it short. We did not need to see that at all. Like Taylor S have to coach Bergie how to kiss, and I'm just like, why is he here? I mean, I hear a lot of people very vocal about Destiny this, Destiny that, but I'm like Bergie, please, this is not summer camp. This is Love Island. Like, people want Destiny to move some type of way, but like Destiny's antics are funny. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I'm hearing people like, oh, Destiny does, like, Destiny's antics are funny. Like, please. And granted, you can't blame her how she's moving. Like, you can't blame her for the way she's moving. You can't. KK tell the girls afterwards that, she's probably, she wants to, like, cuddle with Keenan and all that stuff, but then she's telling herself to, like, get a grip and whatnot. And I'm just like, it's the same night of the Casa recoupling, and you're talking about cuddling Keenan.
And I need a little bit of space. Like, it's not gonna be what we were, or what I thought we were. It's just gonna need a little bit of work. So I didn't slam the door, but it's also not.
The door's closed and he's gotta come knock.
But we move. Next thing you know, in the morning they have a chat, and in the chat, she's basically telling him, that he has to work for it. When he was talking to Carmen basically lets him know that in the video they showed you and Nadja doing some suspect things under the covers, where he basically tries to like lie his way out of it. Basically says like, she was trying to touch me, but I moved real quick. But like, if there was movie night, you would see there was multiple times you were in that position, Keenan. And I don't know if you moved or not, but if you moved the first time, it wouldn't have happened the second time. Okay, so yeah, you can lie your way out of there, but it was suspects on 2 occasions. So he trying to lie his way out of here, and people are gonna believe him. But it is what it is. He's saying that he didn't do nothing. He was pushed her away, and everybody eating it up. But you know what? At the end of the day, even movie night's not going to save KK. Because if at the night of the recoupling, you're still basically like, oh, I want to share a bed with Keenan. Like, please, be for real. Be all the way for real. So in the morning, she's basically telling Keenan, that he has to work for it. She's, on her way to forgiving him. And then he puts his head in her lap and like she's caressing him and whatnot and like all that stuff. And I'm like, I think Bergie and Cassie were chatting, and Bergie was just like, it's very hard to watch because I don't agree with the things that, like how Keenan's moving. Like,
oh my gosh, that is the craziest freaking scenario I've ever seen. KK.
You got Bergie side-eyeing you. Like, you got Bergie putting his 2 cents into the situation and saying, like, I don't really like it. Carmen calling them toxic. Like, do you understand? Like, everybody in the villa not really rooting for them. They're just like, no. Everybody basically know that KK is gonna fold. Like, Cassie's just saying, like, you have Cassie basically saying, like, yeah, everybody knows she's gonna go back to him. Like, you know how unserious this whole situation is? Like, it's kind of sad. Like, all this, and everybody's just like, yeah, she was gonna go back to him anyways. Like, So then we have this whole Destiny, Mike, and Zay situation. Zay was like, oh, he was shocked that Sarah Hyland basically said how, oh, Mike and Destiny were kissing, on the terrace or whatever. I don't know. And he was just like shocked or whatever, and he didn't know they had like that deep connection or something like that or whatever. So I'm just like, well, what's it to you? At the end of the day, you met Destiny after the fact that she had all these connections prior to you. So why are you like shocked? Why are you shocked that before Destiny and you, I guess, interacted, she had something with Mike? Like, I guess they should have talked about that, but, he was a little bit, shocked and, like, I guess, uneasy about the whole situation. So then we see Destiny and Mike are having a conversation, and, yeah, it looks like, I don't know, a little couple more chats in there. Destiny and Mike might, couple up. Basically, Mike is telling Destiny that the door is still open between them. Destiny was kind of put off by how Mike was talking during the recoupling. And she was just like, you know what? Seems like you didn't really care about her. And she was just like, I kind of pulled off. So that's why, I guess, in the bathroom situation where she was just not talking to him, he was like, oh, you're giving me the silent treatment. She didn't speak. So she actually finally talked to him and told him, like, you know what, it seems like you weren't even thinking about me. And then he said, yeah, I thought about you a lot. But, he's just trying to, like, not put his eggs into one basket so quickly. He's trying to make sure one connection is better than another connection. And, like, if it is, we'll get back together, So he's basically saying, like, the door's still open on his end. But if you want to close it, that's on you. So he's basically giving her, like, the ball in her court. So later on, we see Zay and Destiny have that same chat that they should have talked about, her and Mike, like, having this, like, situation stuff. And, she was like, yeah, we should have talked about it, but it really doesn't, pertain to their relationship. She picked him because, she was confident in their connection, and, it is what it is. She said that, Mike wanted to, keep the door open, and she was actually going to go in with it being closed with Mike, but, it kind of put her in a tough spot, so she's going to actually try to, like, talk to both of them. And it's actually interesting seeing like Destiny actually talk to two different guys, because usually when she's in a new couple, she always like, basically is close with the other one. Like, she's close. She's not going back to them. So the fact that she's actually considering still speaking to Mike and still being in a couple with Zay is kind of like, okay, she's actually communicating with both of them about that. It's very interesting. So we'll see who out of the two ends up being with Destiny. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We get to this Leo, Johnny, and Cassie situation. So I guess Leo basically felt like, after everything Cassie said, he's giving her space, he really messed up. So he didn't pull Cassie for a chat. So Carmen's like, Leo hasn't pulled Cassie for a chat to apologize all day, so that's very telling. So Cassie decides to get ready for next night. She's like, you know what, I'm gonna pull him for a chat and basically air it out. She pulls Leo for a chat. They're talking, and at the end of the chat, he's basically saying that it's gonna be Cassie. Like, he, after all that he did with Johnny, he still got Cassie up in his mind and all that. And he did apologize and everything. And Cassie's just like, you know what? She actually still kind of stood her ground about the whole situation. She's kind of like, it's over, because it's like, you did something like that with Johnny, the person that she barely knew, but you were saying all this stuff with her beforehand, and they didn't even do stuff like that. So it's just kind of like, are you, the person that she thought she knew prior to Casa Amor, she doesn't, because how would you do something like that after 2 days? And you want to feel upset for Johnny as well, because after all of that, you got Leo basically saying he's still thinking about Cassie. It's kind of like, oh wow. But I'm like, that's on you, boo. That's on you. Leo and Johnny have a chat, and he's basically saying he still has some feelings for Cassie. So Johnny's feeling upset, you know what, she thought it was going to be a closed door with Cassie and just basically 100% with her after everything. And he's like, no, he still has still feelings for Cassie after the whole fact. So she's feeling some type of way. Cassie is basically telling Mattia the same thing, that she still has feelings for Leo. It can't go away that quickly. She can't give Mattia 100%. So she's just like, Mattia, it's going to take some time. But Mattia's affecting 100% right here, right now. So Cassie's just like, you know what? If you want to get to know somebody else, you can get to know somebody else, because I'm not going to do that right now. So Mattia's feeling some type of way. She has a point here. You can't expect somebody to get over their feelings 100% and then just move 100% of you, because that just wouldn't look genuine at all. You got to give them time to how they want to move. And the fact that you're trying to rush it is no. No. I mean, at least Zay understood, okay, the ball's in Destiny's court. At the end of the day, with the whole Zay, Mike, and Destiny situation, Destiny has the upper hand. Now, Mattia is acting like he's owed something. Johnny's acting like they're owed something. And I'm just like, no, you gotta let the person, figure it out. Because as Casa Amor people, you have nothing to lose. Well, you have nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain. And, you didn't have any prior connections, so you're not really losing anything from that. So you can't get mad at the person who was in prior connections, still having unresolved feelings. You know what I'm saying? If they were single and then they were still moving at 50% with you, then I can understand why you're feeling some type of way. But if they had a deep connection with somebody, and they're trying to get their closure or whatever after 24 hours or whatever, let them get their closure. Why are you rushing them? But at the end of the day, it seems like more than likely both Cassie and KK are going back to their original partners, original couples. I would say the recoupling episode definitely was one for the books. I would give them that. But I already kind of felt like KK was coming back with Keenan. Like, yeah, it was obvious. Now, Cassie now, I thought she was done. But it seems like she might be opening that door. So, yeah. It's kind of odd, but it is what it is. So, you see the little, preview for tomorrow's night. And obviously is, Johnny crying, Keenan wiping her tears. And then we see Cassie crying and she's like laying on KK. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel, subscribe. And anything you guys watching this video, peace.